Alright, it's time for the solutions for the backup review. So on this first section, you're writing the equation of a line that goes through the given point, and it'll be parallel or perpendicular to some beginning one. The formula they're going to use is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1, and you're just replacing some of these numbers. So the 3 is going to go where the x1 is, and the negative 5 will go where the y1 is, and then your slope is going to be the same slope, since we're going for parallel, as the original. And so I'm just taking my original formula and plugging those numbers in. So I'm going to have y minus negative 5 equals negative 3 times x minus 3. And now we have to get y by itself, and we're supposed to simplify it down, so distribute that negative 3. We'll get negative 3x plus 9. And then on the left side we have y plus 5. So we're going to get y by itself by now subtracting 5 from both sides. We have y equals negative 3x plus 4. And that's it for that one. Moving on to the next one, we got y minus the 0 there, which isn't going to do anything on the left side. The slope I'm going to use, since it's parallel, is going to be the same as the one right there, which is going to be 1/2. And I have to do x minus the negative 3 that's up here. And now I'm going to simplify. I'm going to distribute that through. Left side we got y equals. Right side we got 1/2 x. And 1/2 times negative 3 is negative 3/2, but x minus negative 3/2, same thing as x plus 3/2, and that's it. Okay, on the next section, again, we want parallel lines, so I'm going to do y minus the y value of the coordinate. On the right side, we're going to have our slope, which is the same as the original one, negative 7/5. And then x minus negative 5. That's right there. And we're going to distribute this, and left side still y minus 4. Right side we got negative 7/5 x. And then it's going to be subtract 7. So this becomes positive. Subtracting negative, same thing as adding positive. Negative 7/5 times 5. If you take 7, you divide by 5, and then you times by 5, it just becomes 7 again. And so that's why this one's 7. And now we're going to get y by itself by adding 4 to both sides. We have y equals negative 7/5 x minus 3. There's that one. Number 4, following the same pattern, y minus that y value of negative 3. The right side, we're going to have the same slope as the original line, which was negative 1/2. And then we're going to have x minus the x coordinate of the point, which is 4. Now we're going to distribute this 1/2. On the left side we got y plus 3. Right side we got negative 1/2 x. Negative times negative is positive, so plus 2. 1/2 of 4 is 2. When you get y by itself by now subtracting 3 from both sides, and we get y equals 1/2 x minus 1. And that's that one. These next ones you need to get slope of lines that are perpendicular. So you're going to take your original slope, and you're going to get the opposite reciprocal. That means you're going to turn it upside down and change the sign on it. So now it's positive 3/2. And that's the slope we're going to use in our full formula here. So we're going to do y minus that y value of negative 4. Right side we're going to use a slope of 3/2, and then x minus the x value of 4. So this is the same thing as adding positive. Now we're going to distribute that 3/2 through. On the left side we got y plus 4, because the double negative. And we got 3/2 x, and then 3/2 times 4. Well, you do 3 times 4, that's 12. Divided by the 2 gives you 6, so this one's going to be 6. And now when you get y by itself by subtracting 4 from both sides, we get y equals 3/2 x plus 2. Ta-da! There's that one. Again, we need perpendicular on this next one, so we're going to take 5, get the opposite reciprocal. You're going to turn it upside down and change the sign on it. So now it's negative 1/5 for my slope. So I'm going to have y minus the 2 value. On the right side, we're going to have negative 1/5 times x minus negative 5. Minus the negative, same thing as adding positive. I'm going to distribute the negative 1/5 through, so I get negative 1/5 x. And then 1/5 of 5 is just 1, and this one's negative times positive, so it's subtract 1 or negative 1. And last time we still got y minus 2, so we're going to add 2 to both sides, and we'll get y equals negative 1/5 x plus 1. And you get that guy there. 6. Again, we're going to start with this guy. We need to get the opposite reciprocal, so turn it upside down, change the sign on it. It's going to be 1/4. Used to be negative, now it's positive, so it's positive 1/4. And now we got y minus the y value of negative 1. Right side, we're going to use that slope of 1/4, not 1/2, 1/4, in front of x minus the x value of the point right there. And now we're going to get y by itself, but we have to simplify the right side, so do 1/4 times both of those. You'll get 1/4 x minus 1. 1/4 of 4 is 1. Left side, we got y plus 1. We're going to get y by itself by subtracting 1 from both sides. We'll get y equals 1/4 x, and then subtract 2, because subtract 1 and subtract 1 again gives you subtract 2. And then finally on this section, our slope right here, well, that number, there's no number there, so the number there is actually 1. So we're going to take negative 1, turn it upside down to become negative 1 still. But you have to change the sign on it, so it's actually just a slope of 1. And so now we can use our formula y minus the y value of negative 4. Right side, we're going to have a slope of 1, and then x minus the x coordinate, or the x value of our point there, which is just 2. And now you can distribute the 1, which doesn't do anything. So we got x minus 2 over here on the left side, y plus 4 on the left, and we get y by itself by subtracting 4 from both sides, and we get y equals x minus 6. And there's that section. On this next one, you need to get the distance between the 2 points. Either it's written out as 2 points like that, or it's given you in a graph like that. If it's given in a graph, you have to get the coordinates for the points. So this one here is currently at 4, 4. And the one over here is at negative 4, negative 1. And in case you forgot, the formula for the distance is x2 minus x1. You'll need to square that. And then you'll have y2 minus y1, and you'll need to square that. Well, if you take your x's, I'm going to say this is x2, y2, and this one over here is x1, y1. And so I'm going to do 4 minus negative 4 for the x part. And then the y part is going to be 4 minus the negative 1. Well, when you subtract a negative, same thing as adding positives. So this is 4 plus 4, so it's going to be 8 squared. And then the one over here, 4 minus negative 1, same thing as 4 plus 1, which is 5. So I'm going to have 5. I'll need to square that. Well, 8 squared is 64. 5 squared is 25. And if you add those guys together, you're going to get 89. So square root of 89 for number 9. On number 11, it just gives you the 2 points. I usually do the second one as my x2, y2. So I'm going to do 14 minus negative 20 for my first number. And then negative 12 minus negative 1 is the y coordinate for this guy. Well, 14 minus negative 20, same thing as 14 plus 20, which is going to give you 34, which will need a square. And then 12 minus negative 1, same thing as negative 12 plus 1, which is going to be negative 11, which I'll need to square that as well. 34 squared, well, you could use a calculator to help you out with that. It becomes 1,156. And then negative 11 squared, negative 11 times negative 11 is going to be positive 121. And if you add those together, you're going to get the square root of 1,277, which is just fine. You can let that be. Moving on to the next ones. Yeah, it shouldn't be too bad. The coordinates for this point up here are negative 3, 4. And the coordinates over here are 2, negative 4. Apparently 4s are popular on these ones. I'm going to do this one as my second point, so x2, y2 right there. So it's going to be 2 minus negative 3. That's the difference in x's. The y is negative 4 minus 4. Well, 2 minus negative 3, same thing as 2 plus 3, which is 5. We'll need to square that. Negative 4 minus 4 is going to be more negative, so it's going to be negative 8. I'll need to square that. And 5 squared is 25, 8 squared is 64. And if you add those up, you're going to get the same answer as 9, the square root of 89. Okay, there. I'm going to kind of split this so you can get a little bit of room. I'm going to start writing my distance up here. I need to do the x's subtracted first. So it's going to be 6 minus negative 2. Square that. And then negative 1 minus the 3 value there. You square those. And if you subtract them, you'll get 8, which I'll need to square. And then 1 minus 3, negative 1 minus 3 is going to be negative 4, which I'll need to square. If you square 8, you get 64. And if you square negative 4, you get 16. Add those up, you're looking at the square root of 80, which is going to be the answer for that. 13, again, just using the same old formula. I need to subtract my x's, so negative 16 minus 6, and square it. And then subtract my y's, negative 20 minus 14, and square that. If you subtract those, negative 16 minus 6 gives me negative 22, which I'll need to square. And then negative 20 minus 14 is going to give me negative 34. I'll need to square that. And if you do square both of those, I'm going to bring it up here, you'll get, see, 22 times 22, negative 22 times negative 22 is 484, and then negative 34 squared is 1,156. If you add those together, you'll get the square root of 1,640. And that's it for that one. And then on 15, again, subtract my x's, so negative 17 minus negative 6. And then I'm going to have 1 minus negative 19. I'll need to square that. Negative 17 minus negative 6, I think is negative 17 plus 6, which is going to be negative 11. I'm going to square that. And then 1 minus negative 19 is 1 plus 19, which is going to be 20. That goes there. We'll need to square both of those. Negative 11 squared is 121. And then 20 squared is 400. And if you add those up, you're going to get the square root of 521, which is going to be the answer. And then 14, again, following the same pattern, take the x's, subtract them, take the y's, subtract them, you're going to square each of those things, and keep going. So you'd have 9 minus the negative 20, square that, and then you're going to have 19 minus 19, and 9 minus negative 20 is, I think, is 9 plus 20, so this is 29 squared. And 19 minus 19 is 0. If you square 0, you just get 0. And so this is really the square root of 29 squared. Well, the square root of something squared is the same number, so it's really just 29. So that's the answer for 14. And then 16, when you subtract your y's, your x's, negative 11 minus negative 4. When you square that. And then we're going to have negative 4 minus negative 13. I'm going to square that. And keep going. Negative 11 plus 4 is going to be 7. But this one's negative. And then add negative 4 plus 13 is going to give you 9, which I need to square. Negative 7 squared is 49. 9 squared is 81. And if you add those up, you're going to get the square root of 130, which is going to be the answer for 16, and that's going to be it for this video.